So this guy, Tim Fried, that that kind of was the impetus for the project. He kept 60 snakes in his basement and he did this whole thing at home. And I'm often really interested in like amateur scientists or amateur researchers or people who, maybe that's not the right term, but people who aren't necessarily traditionally trained and how they can contribute to advances in knowledge. And so he kept really good records, was really meticulous, taught himself immunology. And so that's part of why his life's work is potentially valuable to scientists who are looking at it right now. Hi, I'm Maria Lux. This is my exhibition. I am an artist based in Walla Walla, Washington. I teach at Whitman College, and I'm part of Carnation Contemporary. So I think it would make sense to start with this piece because it sort of encapsulates where the project came from. It started a few months ago when I read a recent news story about this guy in Wisconsin who had been injecting himself with snake venom for like several decades, and scientists are now looking at his blood for the possibility of a universal anti-venom. And I didn't know very much about snakes. I didn't know anything about anti-venom or venom, and so that really piqued my interest. So I started using that as kind of a jumping off point for learning about this whole world of snakes that I didn't know anything about. So this collage shows that guy's name is Tim Fried, and then actually a bunch of other people who have also injected themselves with snake venom over time. So initially I thought this was like a really weird kind of one-off thing, and like the reason why this was being covered was because it's so unique. But it turns out that people have been injecting themselves with various venoms forever for a lot of different reasons. And there's even a handful of really famous contemporary people who've also done it. So this collage has that guy and a guy named Steve Ledwin and a really, really well-respected snake handler and person who injected himself with snake venom, built up a really good immunity, named Bill Haast. And so there's text that kind of explains who those people are. So the collages in the project for me function as like the place where I can give viewers the information that they might need in order to read the show. For me, my art making always originates in research, and I'm reading a bunch of stuff. And with this project, I got to talk to several snake experts and herpetologists, and that was really cool. And then I have all this information. It's like, how do I share that with the viewers? So in this case, I put together collages that kind of get key points in the research process, and then the captions get quotes from several different books that I was reading or people that I talked to kind of give context for the sculptural piece in the middle of the room. But I really love the idea of this like ordinary house then has all these snakes in the basement, and how you wouldn't necessarily know that that's happening in any given place. So we got the snake kind of coming up from the basement and kind of taking over the whole house, and then of course like protecting this this kind of pile of fruit. So I was thinking about the biblical story of Adam and Eve and the idea of the apple of knowledge, and or the fruit that wasn't an apple, but it doesn't matter. It's yet different kinds of fruit, you know, like these and snakes as like a guardian of lots of knowledge.